All right. Boy, that was fun. Had a little technical difficulties. My iPad was dead, and it took forever for it to kick back on. So that was awesome. Let me get this set up real quick, get some chats going. All right. Let's make sure that we got this all rolling here. So, okay, it is 11 o'clock. It is time for Wonder Friends. Parents, do me a favor. As you kind of come in, leave in the comments the kids' names. Would love to be able to say hi to them, all that good stuff like that. That way they can be seen. That's the big thing, the big goal of this show that I'm doing is I'd like it to the kids that are out there that kind of feel alone, because this is kind of scary times. Things can be a little weird right now. Just like for them to see that they're recognized. That's my goal, so that they feel part of something. So again, we all know this. Leave the comments. Make sure that we understand that there are other kids reading these comments. This is family. Make sure that we're putting some smart stuff in the comments. What's up, Zoe? Good to see you. Fun fact, my cat's name is Zoe also. Layla and Sydney, what's up, guys? Mason, how's it going? Macy, Ellis, Tori, Miles, and Madeline. What's up, guys? Good to see you. So I hope that you guys brought today with you a can of veggies or soup or some sort of small can. I know this sounds like a weird idea, and you're like, what are we gonna do? I promise we're not gonna open them and smear them all over your face. You can if you want, but we're not going to. Probably shouldn't, because I think that then your moms and dads might be mad at me. James, Julian, Aaron, what's up? Good to see you. Thanks for checking this out. So, just like we do every time, I want to start this out with just kind of getting mindful, because there's no place that I'd rather be than talking to you right now. And thank you guys so much for taking some time to come check this out. I hope to entertain you. We're going to do a fun art project and all that stuff like that. But what I like to do first is I'd like to get you in the same mindset as me, which means to get you present, get you aware of who you are, how awesome you are, and all that stuff like that. So it's real simple. We're going to just want you to sit up big and tall. Take a big breath in. I want you to think about yourself now, and I want to just kind of forget all the stuff that's going on. I want us to really kind of focus on you, right? And so really what we're thinking about this, and you can say this out loud or you can just say it inside your head, but it's really important just to think about yourself right now. So sit up big breath, and I just want you to say, I am smart. Then say, I do matter. Then I am me. And then end it with, I am super fantastic. I want you guys to really think about all those things as you go through this, because it's really important to make sure that we're bringing the kindness to ourselves into our day, right? Even when there's difficult things and some stuff like that. So it's really important. So tomatoes, chilies, olives, all that stuff, like anything like that. We're just looking for any sort of canned thing. It'll all make sense when we get to the art project. So as we're talking here, I'll give you guys a second to get your canned vegetable of any sort of thing, soup, anything. The point of being small is it's because we're using like copy paper, so we got to make sure that it's not the big giant cans, because the copy paper won't work for that. What is up, Emily? Good to see you. Mustard Kids, what's happening, guys? Hope you guys are growing some cool indoor vegetables. So we're just want to remind you guys real quick about the cup rule, right? The cup stuff we talk about Sunny. So we got this. He's got those little star buddies with the KUP. Remember, the cup is the kind that you think from, not the kind you drink from. So I'm talking all about your brain. And so when we talk about those things, they're made up of 3 parts. We got our kindness, our uniqueness, and we practice it, right? We talked about how kindness was part of what we think about, not just for other people, because we all know that that's important to be nice to other people, but it's really what we're talking about here on Wonder Friends is the kindness that we show to ourselves. Are we telling ourselves good things, and when we're stuck in some sad moment, or we feel like we're kind of stuck just in general, that we are brave enough to talk to somebody else when things like that can really scare us? Julian, Emma, what's happening? Good to see you. So as we're going through our day, and if we feel like we're stuck or something's really scary, and things are very scary sometimes, it's important for us to be brave enough to reach out to somebody to kind of tell them what you're feeling, because there's a good chance that the adult you're talking to or the other person also is having a little bit of thing, because we all have feelings and we all know what it's like to be freaked out by something sometimes, or really not knowing what's going on. Bailey, what's happening? And so it's really important for us to take a moment to just remember kindness towards yourself. That's a pretty important thing to do. So we got to make sure that we are throwing all this stuff up there too. So at Wonderville Studios on Facebook, any adults at Wonderville Studios on Instagram. I also do have a couple adult things there. And then also I want to kind of make you guys aware of on my website, I know I'm kind of slow, but I'm a one-man band at getting all this stuff done. So I am making a PDF section of a bunch of different downloads from different characters and stuff like that. So what I'm doing is kind of creating like a little packet where if your child is really interested in story building, we're going to be able to have some stuff for them to download there. But I have packets for each one of the books I do, different characters and stuff like that the kid will be interested in. And there's a boatload of how to draw video links on there to all the YouTube stuff and things like that. So again, just go to wondervillestudios.com if you have any questions. There's a contact form on there and all that good stuff like that. So as we get started here, guys, I just want to go back a little bit to our feelings again. I want to kind of just talk one more time about this. We got good feelings sometimes. When we're having good feelings, it's super simple, right? We just want to keep those going, but sometimes those sad feelings kick in. And when those sad feelings kick in, we can kind of feel like we want to yell and we want to get mad and we want to get angry and all those things like that. And sometimes we think there's something wrong with this if we feel like that, but there's nothing wrong with you. Everybody has good feelings and bad feelings, so I don't want you to think there's anything wrong. But again, just like I just talked about, it's really important that if you're feeling stuck, be brave enough to talk to somebody else. There are other people out there wanting to help you feel like that way. And trust me, even adults, we get stuck sometimes. So if moms and dads, hey, if you guys are feeling stuck too, talk to your kids. Right now, everybody's kind of pulling together because we're all going through the same sort of stuff. This stinks for everybody, not just for us. Evie, what's up? Henry, Lexi, what's going on? I am so grateful that I can read everybody's names and I understand. So if I mess up your name, I'm sorry. That's not my goal. So again, tomorrow will be the first giveaway. And tomorrow, while I'm talking about tomorrow, parents, listen up. This is really, really, really important. Kids, I want you to listen up too, because this is important as well. Tomorrow's episode, you need to get your parents to take part in it, because I have something really cool that's going to happen tomorrow that we need both your parents, just one parent, but we need your parents and you. So a parent and you. You can get both your parents if you want, but we need a parent to work along with their kid. I know that sounds scary, adults, but I promise you, you can do it too. What's up, Maddie? Good to see you. And so, again, the giveaway starts tomorrow. So it's simple. Remember the rules of the giveaway. 3 simple rules. Number 1, you gotta like the page. Parents, you gotta like the page. Number 2, I need you to post a picture of your kid's artwork into the comment section. Remember, in comments, other kids are reading this. Let's act like adults and make sure that we're putting good stuff up there. And the third one is I just need you to share this. My goal really in all of this whole thing is just to raise awareness for kids to understand that they're part of something, that there are other kids all over the place going through this stuff. So as they're going through the comments, they can maybe see people from all across the country that are feeling the same way they do, so that way they can do it. And I also want them to be recognized for who they are, because a lot of times some of us can feel pretty invisible. So I want these kids to kind of get a little bit of recognition so they can feel like they're part of something big. That's really important. And so that's it. That's part of the giveaway. And what we're going to do is every Sunday, we're going to randomly pick, and then we're just going to give away some books, maybe some drawings from the week, kind of like a little random gift bag that you're going to get in the mail kind of thing, and we'll direct message you or send you a link or some sort of way to get a hold of you to get your address so we can send those off to you. So that's what the giveaway is. So again, I'm going to get ready to switch over to the art part of it, but supply-wise, we need a can of something. Doesn't have to. I want it to be like a small can. We're working with copy-sized paper. So think about if we're going to wrap something around it. It's a little hint of what we're getting ready to do. That's what we're going to do. So we need some sort of can. So I'll give you a second to get those things. Paper, scissors, ruler, and tape. Markers are also awesome. What's up, Alex, Emma? Great. I'm so happy to see all of you here. So this is what we're going to do. So get your supplies together. I'm going to switch over to the other camera. I'm not going to really be able to see a lot of the comments once I switch over because I can't see it because it's obviously above me. But I'm going to switch over real quick. Get your supplies ready, and I will see you guys in just 1 second. All right. So here we go. So this is all our supplies we got here. So I got some peas, I got some markers, I got some tape, scissors, and a ruler and paper. So now this is like one of my favorite things to do, and I don't know why. It's just I used to have a job where I did package design, package design. So you guys understand, kids, is that when you see this stuff, really all this is a blank can, and this label that says sweet peas on it is printed out, and then it's wrapped around, right? It's wrapped around this, and that's what makes this thing so you know what's inside of it, right? And the same goes for soaps and all this different stuff like that. They're all printed on there, and that's what a package designer does, is they design the package. And I used to do that. So one of the things I used to always do in package design was we would kind of relabel things, and then that ended up making something that would turn into something really fun to me, and I thought this would be a super fun project for all of us. So parents, I may need your help with some of the little ones, and there is some cutting here. Guys, if you got scissors, make sure you're being careful. Watch your digits. We don't want to lose any fingers or anything like that. So with your ruler, this is really easy. What we're going to do is if you hold your can sideways or you put it on your table or whatever, we're going to measure how long this is right here. So we're going to measure how long, the width, right? The width of our container. So if you look at mine, I have in inches 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a little bit past. It's that little tiny line past 4. Now here's a trick that I always say. Like sometimes I forget what those mean, those little like lines. You guys are probably way smarter than me and you know what that means. But sometimes what I do is I say 4 and that little line past the 4. And I kind of remind myself that way. So, and then what you do is you get your blank paper. Moms, dads, parents, this is where I need some help with this, is you're going to take your paper, and I would say like long ways is really the best way. So up and down, what you're going to do is you're going to put your ruler down right on the edge of the paper, and we're going to go 4 and that little line right after, and just put a dot, okay? And do the exact same thing down towards the bottom of the page, 4 and the little line after. Now, check this out, guys. This is kind of cool. What you're going to do is you are going to put your pencil right on that top dot, okay? And when your pencil, oh, I just squiggled. That pencil on that top dot, you put your ruler right up against it. See how it hits it and stops? Now, take where you put your hand right there at the top and move the bottom down to this point. So use this dot where your pencil's at, and then use your eyeballs to stop it on the other one. And when you do that, once you have it there, push down hard on the ruler and just run your pencil along it like that. So now we have a line. Can you guys see that okay? A line that is telling us where it goes. Now, scissors. This is where it comes in handy. You are just going to cut right along that line. Just like that. Check it out. So once you cut along the line, now check this out, guys. This is the cool part. So you made your line on this side, right? And we've all heard of like in paper in school, like your sloppy copy. Well, check it out. Put that one against the can. So now nobody can see your line you made. Now look at this. This is going to wrap around the can. Now check that out. How cool is that? Now before you do that, because it's going to be really hard to draw on the can, what you're going to do is take this, just set the can aside for a second, and take your paper, and you might want to put another piece of paper underneath it, especially if you're working on your parents' like table, so if we go over, we're not messing things up, okay? So this is where you need your markers. Now, this is the cool part. Now here's what's fun about this, guys. Just because this can says peas does not mean that what we're going to draw on this can has to be peas. we can make it anything that we want it to be. This is what's kind of cool and what's kind of fun about this. Now here's a tip that I would kind of say that you might want to do so your parents don't get mad, is don't take off the label that's actually on the can, because if you do, then nobody's going to know what's in it. But you can totally cover up the one with some tape, and you can remove it so your parents can still see what's in the can. So what we're going to do is, I thought what would be kind of funny is if we made these things called monster chunks, right? And that's what's in our cans. And so what we're going to do is we're going to draw what we think monster chunks might look like, right? So with our label that we made here, you want to kind of start, anywhere on here really doesn't matter, but you really, if you start in the middle of the page of this little piece right here, it makes sure that you can get it on the front. So I want to just keep it a very simple monster for you guys. Let's just draw a circle. Okay, and then on this circle, I think our monster should have maybe some like horns. Okay, and horns are real simple. Horns could be like a V. They can be like this little curve like this. You can do all kinds of different things. And then let's put like 3 lines right on the middle of it, so that it's like it has 3, I don't know, like hairs, I guess would be what we'd say. And now with horns, to give horns kind of like a little detail, if we just put little lines on there, it kind of makes those horns look a little more horn-like, okay? Now, monster chunks. All right, so again, we're going to use our imagination, and let's pretend that we have an imaginary line running down through there, and we're going to put just 2 dots down so we know where we want to put eyeballs, and make those dots just a little bit bigger. All right? Now let's put some bigger lines around each one of those, all right? And then I think monster chunks, it seems like if we're doing monster chunks and it's food, this monster should have some really, like a really big mouth. So how we're gonna do that is if you put your pencil or a pen or marker or whatever you got down on the side of it, and you go around this way, and then let's take another line and bring it all the way down. So we're going to use like a parallel line. And the parallel line just means a line that runs beside something. So we're going to run a line that's kind of along the edge of the character. So bring it down so it's a big mouth. All right. Now, teeth are important. I want you guys to put as many teeth in this thing as you want. You can use like a U for a shape for a teeth, so like the letter U, right? The letter U, right? And you can put as many as you want around there. I always like to do 2 because I think it's kind of funny. And then what you do for a tongue, right? Because we want to make sure that our character has a tongue in its mouth, is inside of this, you're just going to put a little bump right inside there. And then I want you just to color this in with just your black marker. If you color all this in, check out what happens. Now all of a sudden your character has an inside of the mouth, right? Now chunks, like monster chunks we called it, so let's put that on there. So we're gonna say monster is M-O-N-S-T-E-R. Then chunks is C-H-U. That moment when you forget how to spell a word. K-S, monster chunks. Okay, so here's some cool stuff that pay attention to the details down here. So if you look on your can, they have these like little numbers on here. You can just take those numbers and write those on there if you want, or you can just make like a little like square like this that kind of just like shows that those things are there. But the more details like this that you look at the can that you have and you kind of draw around the whole thing, the better. So like if we look at the side, we know those nutritional things. So if you make like your little box over here and you just look at this one, and you don't have to make the whole thing, but you just kind of copy it. So like the things I would look at is that there's lines all down through there. So you can kind of just put some lines all the way down through those. That's about it. It doesn't really matter about all those things. You know, on this side, there's like this UPC code is what this little thing is. When they scan, when you go through a checkout and you hear that bloop, that's what they're scanning. You know, like you can kind of just make some like zigzags. If you're making like text, if you put them in like a zigzag like that, that makes it pretend that there's like some text. And then you can just put some up and down lines in a rectangle. And now we got a UPC code, and you can do stuff like that. So monster chunks, if we go back to this, let's just say like there's some squares around this guy, because monster chunks, right, should have some squares. Now, if you want, you can put some arms around him as well. And I think that with arms, if we just kind of use a shape kind of like that, so that would just be 2 lines down, just like this, and put a little hot dog shape on the side and make some just bloopy lines that go all around it. Now parents, here's a good fun fact. I don't know if you know about these videos. They are on Facebook. They live there. So as your child is working on this, if they feel stuck or if I'm going too fast, you can kind of always bring it back up and rewind and go back to it. So that way they can kind of catch up and pause and take their time doing it. I'm just trying to go through it fairly quick, so that way I know that we only get so much attention. So I don't want to spend all the time in me boring them with all this stuff. So eyebrows are really important in our monster. And again, easy way to do this is if we just do some rectangles. Now, we can add other elements around here, like little like sprinkles, like those are just X's with lines that kind of add a little bit of fun to it, right? And so you have your little monster there, and I'm gonna kind of fast forward a little bit. Now here's what's kind of cool, especially if you're using like a Sharpie or some other like permanent marker, is if you get these handy dandy Crayola markers, they don't bleed over. And when what I mean by bleed, guys, is that so when you run a color over top of color, if you ever had like a Crayola and you have like the black down and you try to do yellow over it, and now like your yellow marker gets that black like tip on it, that means that the marker kind of bled on the other one. So I'm just gonna color mine in really quick here, just to kind of like show you guys a little idea of like, you know, maybe what a finished thing could look like. So you guys, I want you to take your time, because your wonder work of the day is going to be finished in this, so you don't have to like keep up with me here. I'm just going to do this really fast, so that way I can kind of get it done to show you what the finished thing would be. I'd say monster chunks, there's a good chance that those things are green, so that's what I'm kind of doing there. And so let's say that we're finished here. All right, and again, you guys don't have to get this done right now, but I'm going to show you how to make it, like to finish it. So we're going to get our tape, okay? Now on your tape, you're going to have your tape on the very end, just one side, okay? Put it on one side, and then hold, kind of lay it upside down, and put your can over it. And then what you're going to do is just bring that one side with the tape up, and you're just going to line it up right over top of the other can, okay? Of the other label. And then look at this, just roll it, right? And when you roll it, it's going to stay right in place. And when it stays right in place, you take another piece of tape. You might need somebody to help you with this part, because you get 2 hands. My hands are big enough to do it, and you put it on there. So at the end of it, what you have is you made your own cans. Now think about this. What kind of fun you could have pranking people with this stuff, and you can make up different stuff that's in it. You can have like, you know, unicorn tears, like canned stuff. You can have like all kinds of make up fruits and different things like that. You can have a lot of fun with this, and just have a good time. And that's what's kind of cool about these things, is that as you start to kind of look around your house, look at things that you can reskin and you can repackage and all stuff like that. You can do this with soaps, you can do this with different like lotions, and anything that has a label, and you have paper and you have creativity, you can make something to cover them and just change what it is. Now remember, I would leave what is underneath there, so that way mom and dad and your parents can figure out what is actually in the can. So I'm going to switch back to the other camera real quick. right back here. I hope that was really fun to do that. What's up, Bren? Good to see you. Alex and Emma, what's happening? Henry, Lexi. So guys, I appreciate you showing up for this stuff. I hope you have fun making that project. Again, parents, this lives on Facebook, and I'm also posting them on YouTube, so you can reference these back. If it was a little too quick for them, they can go back and rewatch them, and you can pause, and they can pause and catch up and do all their things. So the Wonderwork homework today for the contest giveaway will be for you to take your finished canned good, right? Let me grab this guy again. So get your finished canned good, take a photo of it, put it in the comments, make sure that it's nice and clear, we can all see what's going on there. Put it in the comments, like the page, share the page, all that stuff like that. We do have a bunch of books and all that good stuff like that we all talk about kindness, acceptance, and accepting who we are and our uniqueness, which is really a great thing. Those are all available easily on Amazon. There's a link, all that good stuff like that you can find all those, guys. My latest book, It's Okay to Be Unicorn, is on there. And so again, like tomorrow, what we're gonna need, super simple: a parent and a kid, both of you working together, paper and markers. That's it. Nothing special about it. We're gonna draw. We're just gonna straight up draw some stuff, and that's it. Now today's word is, I want to talk about self-compassion. Self-compassion is taking some time for ourselves, just to understand that we all go through stuff. See, I have a shirt that says, I'm not perfect. I have messed up a bunch. I do things sometimes and say bad things to myself that I wish I wouldn't say. Sometimes this happens. That makes it all normal. We all struggle with this stuff. Sometimes we have to have some self-compassion. There's also a word called empathy, is a word that's the same sort of thing. It's where we put ourselves in somebody else's shoes. But that also works for yourself. If you think about, like, if you spend too much time telling yourself you're not good at something, you're going to not get better at things. So have some compassion for yourself and think, maybe I'm not good at it right now, but if I try just a little bit, I'm going to understand a little more. Kind of like this show. I started out having no clue how to do it. I feel like it's kind of getting a little bit better. So I hope you do too. So again, last thing I got to tell you guys is just remember, the key to happiness is embracing your unicorniness. You're cool just the way you are. You don't have to change anything about you. You were limited edition, one of a kind. There'll never be another one of you, and I think that's pretty cool, and it's proof that you are indeed the unicorn. So go about the rest of your day, sprinkle your magic on the world, and be the unicorn. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.